Omni-Man versus Battle Beast. They're two of the most powerful characters in Invincible, and yet they never fought against each other. But if they had, well, who'd be coming out on top? Who'd be the last one standing? Really, would it even be close? Well, let's break it down. Now, for this video, we're going to be kinda using a composite version of Omni-Man, taking the comics, what we've seen from the TV show, and mashing them into one. So all feats apply to figure out just how powerful Nolan is. Just not his feats from Mortal Kombat, of course. And because of that, spoilers ahead from the comics for what lies ahead for the TV show. Now, Omni-Man is a Viltrumite, member of the largest and most powerful empire throughout the galaxy. And why are the Viltrumites so powerful? Well, it's because they have access to smart atoms, molecularly the same as normal atoms, but they give access to all sorts of powers on the atomic level. And Viltrumites are unique because they can use smart atoms for a whole lot of different powers: super strength, super speed, flight, and they're the only race in the universe to have smart atoms literally encoded inside their DNA. That's what makes them so powerful. And just how powerful are they? Well, with super strength, Nolan Grayson is one of the best. In his fight against Invincible, Omni-Man was punching Mark so hard that he was shaking entire mountains, and doing this repeatedly. In fact, Omni-Man was sending Mark flying all over the planet, causing earthquakes each time that he landed. That was against his own son. He was holding back there. Time and time again, he was able to punch through Immortal, ripping him in half, cutting his head off with his bare hand, or even with Thrag's kids. He was able to splatter several kids with each punch he threw. Both the Immortal and those half Viltrumites have some great durability feats. Nolan is still leagues above them. Then there's also the time where Omni-Man claimed they managed to stop an asteroid the size of Texas. Just think about that for a second. An asteroid the size of Texas. That's a planet-destroying extinction level event right there. That would be about 7 billion metric tons of meteor he had to stop, not even taking into account acceleration or anything like that. That lines up with what Nolan has done in the comics, where him, Mark, and Thaddeus teamed up to destroy the planet Viltrum, a planet that's roughly twice the size of Earth. Now, sure, that's 2 other Viltrumites helping him there, and Space Racer shot the planet with his gun in order to destabilize the core. But still, that's a multi-continental feat at least. Omni-Man is seriously powerful. In fact, Omni-Man is arguably one of the strongest Viltrumites you're ever gonna see. He's a trusted officer who was given the duty to conquer a planet all by himself. And true, old, accomplished Viltrumites like that are in a tier all their own. Like Conquest, we can casually bust out of solid 400-ton solid steel blocks encasing all around his body, as well as 6 miles of earth caving in on top of him. Omni-Man is still more powerful. In fact, the only Viltrumite we ever saw definitively prove he was stronger than Omni-Man was Thrag, and he did it pretty definitively. That actually leads us into our next point: durability. And again, it's something that Viltrumites are great at. And Omni-Man is one of the best of all of them. He's been pretty much unaffected by any attacks from Immortal. He was unaffected by any of the attacks from Invincible during their first fight too. And in fact, Omni-Man has regularly been able to take attacks from all sorts of different Viltrumites and not really gone down or been all that injured. He's actually so tough that, like we said, even other Viltrumites legit just splatter against him on impact. He's taken massive nuclear lasers and survived it completely unscathed, even taking nukes at point blank range, not even being slowed down. Now, all this isn't to say that Omni-Man can't be damaged. He can, and he's taken some absolutely devastating attacks in the past. He's been beaten up by several Viltrumites as they double, triple teamed him. And in pretty much every fight that he's ever had with Thrag, well, he usually ends up nearly on the brink of death. The first fight, well, he ultimately got overpowered and was straight disemboweled when Thrag punched his hand through Omni-Man's body. Omni-Man still survived. Another fight, well, Thrag beat Omni-Man so bad that his eye straight up popped out of his skull. Still survived. He went against Thrag a third time too. It was nearly torn in half. Still managed to keep himself alive. So basically, Nolan has an incredibly impressive healing factor and can survive almost any injury. But two, well, it takes a whole heck of a lot to actually injure him or put him down. Just because Omni-Man can take nearly any attack or any injury and just refuses to go down or be killed. His durability is just simply off the charts. And pretty much any injury he does take, well, he can heal from it. The only way that Omni-Man can actually be completely put down is by damaging his heart enough where his heart can't help with the healing and repair. But everything outside of that, and I mean everything, Nolan is gonna survive it. Then even simply with speed, Omni-Man, like all other Viltrumites, has the ability to move well above the speed of light. He was able to slaughter all the Guardians of the Globe in just moments, despite having a super speedster of their own in Red Rush. In the comics, Omni-Man put down the Guardians even faster. They didn't even have the chance to react to his attacks. He's well faster than Invincible during their first fight. Invincible is legitimately moving in slow motion, and he's well faster than other Viltrumites too. Then even just simply flying around, Nolan is much faster than the speed of light. When he left Earth, he decided to travel to another planet with life, and that journey took him about a week. But not just any planet, but a planet in the Virgo supercluster, which is 65 million light years away from the Earth. He traveled that span in just about a week, making him massively faster than the speed of light. No questions asked. And all these powers, his strength, his speed, even his durability, is best put on display when Omni-Man decided to completely and utterly destroy the Flaxen Empire. And I do mean completely destroy it. He flew through a continent-sized city fast enough to where he was literally causing nuclear-level destruction as he flew around. Basically, how that works is that as he reached light speed, or even just under the speed of light, Nolan was hitting molecules and atoms in the air with so much speed and force that it's causing nuclear fusion, leveling continent-sized cities and sending the entire planet back to the Stone Age. He just kept 3 of them alive in order to send him back, and then killed them too. In short, whether it's in the show or the comics, Omni-Man has just been able to consistently prove that he's not only the most powerful being on Earth, but he's just regularly proven himself to be one of the most powerful Viltrumites as well. And then there's Battle Beast, a warrior who loves nothing more than a good fight, and is desperately searching the cosmos for that one glorious fight that will finally give him purpose and meaning. And he might have just found it here. And for starters, Well, Battle Beast is really no joke in the strength department. The dude has been traveling the universe for years looking for a good fight, or someone who can compare to him. He hasn't found one. He's even been able to effortlessly plow through Ragnars or even Viltrumites. The guy has really never met his match or his equal until he fought against Thrag. And let me get this straight. Battle Beast is, for all intents and purposes, Thrag's complete equal. The two guys fought against each other for 4 days straight in a fight that completely annihilated the planet they were fighting on. And even though Thrag won that fight, really don't think it's because Thrag is just any more powerful than Battle Beast. It's more Thrag just got lucky and was the one fortunate enough to survive. You can't tell me that the winner of a 4-day fight is really the one more powerful and not just the one more lucky, especially since Thrag nearly died from his injuries as well, and would have if his followers didn't save him. Basically, you should be able to scale Battle Beast directly to Grand Regent Thrag. And Thrag has dominated against Thaddeus, Omni-Man, and Invincible before. Like, dominated. And those 3 guys are important because we can use the feat where they destroy the planet Viltrum. Planet considerably bigger, denser, and with much stronger gravity than the Earth. They destroyed that planet, meaning they were strong enough to combine to destroy the planet, and all of them were tough enough to survive the destruction of the planet. So while you can't scale them all up to planet level individually, you can scale them to at least moon level, especially since we've legit seen Invincible moving moons around before and pushing them out of orbit. And considering just how much Thrag dominated against them in their fights, I would argue that at this point in the series, he's as powerful as all 3 of them combined. Well, I think it's fair to say that Thrag is probably planet level himself. And since Battle Beast and Thrag can pretty much directly compare to each other, you can say that Battle Beast is planet level too. Told you, the guy is strong. He's also very, very tough. Battle Beast is tough enough to survive attacks from Thrag, and did it for 4 days straight. Remember, Thrag was legit killing Viltrumites like Thaddeus and Omni-Man, 2 guys who are tough enough to survive planetary destruction. Thrag's punches do more damage than a planet blowing up, and Battle Beast took those punches for days on end. And he started out the fight by injuring himself with his own blade to kinda even the fight. So Battle Beast did all that while he was already injured. He's got some crazy durability. And finally, Battle Beast is actually sneaky fast. In fact, Battle Beast is definitely light speed, and much, much faster than light speed 2. That's the scaling he gets from fighting with Viltrumites. Like, Omni-Man flew from Earth to the Virgo supercluster in just a week or 2. That's like millions of times faster than light. And other Viltrumites have definitely shown off light speed reactions too. It's been said that their reaction or their combat speed and their travel speed are exactly the same. So fighting against a Viltrumite like this definitely shows that Battle Beast has light speed abilities too, especially since we know that him and Thrag were moving across the planet faster than light as they were fighting. So who wins? Well, let's break it down. Now for me, this one's pretty simple. Because while Battle Beast and Omni-Man never actually fought against each other, well, they both did fight against Thrag. And that paints a pretty clear difference in power levels between the two. Grand Regent Thrag and Omni-Man fought each other several times throughout the comics, And best you can kinda say for Nolan is that he survived the fights. Thrag is clearly more powerful, he's clearly stronger, he's clearly tougher, he's clearly faster, and he's got absolutely no problem with just simply bullying Omni-Man. Each fight leaves Nolan bloodied and barely standing, sometimes literally holding his organs in place. So yeah, he's just surviving these fights. And he'd even had help in some of them, and sometimes that's not even enough. Like Thrag was able to beat up on both Omni-Man and Invincible, did them both dirty. Then there's Battle Beast's fight against Thrag. And yes, Thrag technically won and killed Battle Beast. But don't knock that against him, it's not like Thrag wasn't beating Omni-Man too, and ultimately did kill Nolan. Just goes to show how powerful Thrag is. But before Thrag won, well, their fight played out way differently. For starters, Battle Beast took no additional help in that fight. Actually took it one step further by brutally injuring himself just to make sure that him and Thrag were on the same level playing field. If he hadn't done that, strong argument that Battle Beast wins that fight and kills Thrag. But their fight went on for days on end. Literally, they fought each other for 4 days straight. And while Battle Beast was killed, Thrag was really in no better shape, just barely hanging on to life himself. Again, compare this to all of Thrag's fights against Omni-Man. And because, well, Omni-Man and Thrag are both Viltrumites, both have the same powers, and Omni-Man is just clearly weaker than Thrag, safe to say that we can know how this fight plays out. Battle Beast is coming out on top here, and it might not even be close.